Yo, Guardians! What is going on, guys? Your boy Sly here, bringing out some more of that Destiny goodness with one of my favorite weekly traditions, the Weekly Reset. Hopefully y'all out there are some of the few that have not been dealing with the massive amounts of issues this June update has caused us. Now, if you haven't heard about it, there are tons of people, more so every day, unable to load their characters into Destiny as their data is being lost. They're stuck in orbit, others have unknown errors kicking them out of dailies, weeklies, and raids, as well as rewards not dropping for all of them. There are a lot of problems, guys. Some of the most recent that I have found out about have to do with aura and plate-related mechanisms in King's Fall and sword problems in Crota's End. In both cases, they aren't either registering the buffs or the character is unable to pick up the item or activate certain things. And then, on top of that, there are invisible level 0 guardians in the Crucible who take no damage and can't be killed, as well as weapons that only hit for 1 or no damage at all. Something has seriously, and I mean seriously, scrambled this game for the devs, and they have a long road ahead of them to fix all of these errors. So, unfortunately, following in the footsteps of Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner is cancelled for the week, and I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Trials goes down for a second week in a row come Friday. So that's just a heads up. What I haven't mentioned yet was even close to all of the errors happening in the game. There are a lot more than that. It's been a trying time for both player and developer. I can assure you guys this is not on purpose, and as much as it may suck, spamming them with emails and tweets won't fix anything, so hang in there, Guardians. Hopefully this shit will get under control. So one quick thing before we get this biatch underway, if some of you out there keep up with my reset videos, I start making these at 5 a.m., which is what time it resets on the east coast of the US. Having said that, updates do odd things to the cycle of Destiny. Last week, it was supposed to have been Golgoroth Challenge and the Nightfall taking place in the Cosmodrome, you know, that gigantic shank. Well, when the June update deployed, it basically treated it as another reset for certain activities. It changed the Nightfall, skipped ahead to Oryx Challenge, and even changed up the boss for the Court of Oryx. Basically, we ended up having a double reset, so my video was on point pretty much all morning and even up till the afternoon. But after that, when the update dropped, it changed a lot of stuff. So sorry about that, guys. I know expansions did that to activities, but I didn't think that, subclass tweaks would end up bouncing everything around. So apologies on that. I was kind of pissed after doing all my raids, and the Golgoroth chest didn't appear for 3 times. And when I was looking for possible server errors, I noticed everyone else was saying the same thing because it was Oryx. So yeah, my bad on that. I'll try to watch out for it next time around. Alright guys, well, enough talk. Let's do the damn thing. First up, we're heading to the Reef to check out Boo Boo Petra and Varix. As always, when you land, check yo Postmaster. They will be reissuing rewards for activities that are messing up. So keep on Twitter and follow me there to make sure you guys find out when that happens. Sterling Treasure, Legendary Marks, etc., all those will end up being rewarded for people that haven't received them. So, when you play your activities as you normally would throughout this week, and if any of them mess up, you'll get your due in the end. By the way, the marks in your Postmaster is also a great way to stack up and have more than 200 on hand for when the expansion drops. So, if they end up reimbursing all of the week's worth of dailies, that is a lot of backup marks. Speaking of Postmaster, don't forget, grab your treasure if you're like me and lucky enough to get your 28th pair of Spectre Gauntlets. But more so than that, new colors have been added to the Sterling Treasure boxes. We now have magenta, orange, and green. So that was definitely a nice added surprise. Alright, so Petra, Blue Beauty's bounties, they don't switch up all that much, but she hands out a lot of keys, and that happens fairly often. And breaking those keys down for rep with Varix definitely adds up after a while, so make sure you guys get that done. First up, the wanted bounty, Urxery, lost to Oryx. Next, we have to kill 12 named or consumed Fallen Hive Cabal or Vex on Venus. Finally, the easiest one, kill 100 Taken. Alright, thank you, Missy Miss, and now off to the Space Cricket. The Reef, the Raid, and the Nightfall are always my favorite part of the reset, and the Reef because of this package right here. By the way, anyone else think that Etheric Light will be reused going into Rise of Iron? We have all these new weapons, but since we're not going past level 40, we're staying on this level, but an increased light level. This looks like an already used possibility. Anyways, bounties are up first, and we have impressive performance, earn points, and a challenge of elders. Second bounty, heavy hitter. Use a heavy weapon to kill enemies in level 41 PoE or the challenge. And then finally, shadow boxer. Kill 30 enemies with void abilities and you, my friend, are done. Now, as we all know, last week's was bonus points for melee kills. This week, we can look forward to grenade kill bonus. This one is probably my second favorite one out of them all, precision being first. But let's take a look at these modifiers, and warlocks out there, get excited. So we do know that this week is already a grenade kill bonus, but the other mods are specialists. Special weapon damage is favored, and then something that makes this even more awesome, and that is catapult. Grenade recharge rate is greatly increased. If you use Voidwalker Warlock with scatter grenades, nothing manacles, and then spec for energy drain damage, you will have pretty much unlimited grenades the entire time. Now remember, you have to spec for it, so find how to get energy drain and for them to recharge your grenades and melees, not your super. 3 Voidwalkers will take top spot this week. I'm almost positive about that. Alright, well, with the Reef out of the way, let's head down to the Guardian Town and check out our boy Shax and his Crucible bounties for the week. Just like Petra, they don't change much, but it wouldn't be a reset video without him. So, what's up, Shax, me boy? Alright guys, Crucible bounties. First up, individual achievement. Complete Crucible bounties with an individual score of at least 1,500 points. You need to do this twice. Next, we have making an impact. Win 7 matches. Moving along, Crucible combat's up next, and here you need to win 1 game in 3 different modes: Clash, Skirmish, and Elimination. Featured matches is up next, and you have to earn points in any featured Crucible playlist in orbit. Wins are worth 3, losses are 1, and you need 5 points total. Next, my least favorite of all, rifles and cannons. Defeat 10 guardians with each weapon type: auto rifles, hand cannons, pulse rifles, and then finally scouts. At last, we're done with these boring bounties. Turn all of these bitches in and enter unknown reward heaven. By the way, I'm still looking for that god roll longbow. Well, actually any longbow at all would be great to start with, but just like another 10,000 Spectre arms, I've received 4 of the Swarm LMGs, so yeah, there's that. I can never get anything else. But alright, anyway guys, if your vaults are overflowing with Worm Spore, rejoice, because this week's, like the sign from the heavens, Dead Orbit is accepting Worm Spore for reputation. So, come one, come all, everyone else has nothing really interesting. Alright Guardians, so we are done at the tower. Let's head back up to orbit and check out the weeklies. First up on the Crucible side, we have Mayhem Rumble. Now this is supposed to be the secondary weekly for the week, and I don't know if this is part of some of these problems I talked about earlier, because as you can see, the main weekly, which hands out sterling treasures and legendary marks, is Inferno 6v6. Like I said, you can see the other one gives out sterling treasure and legendary marks at the bottom as well, so I really don't know what's going on here, but maybe extra treasure box? I don't know. I'm about to find out in a few. But anyway, finally, Eliminations is here. And I'm thinking that unless these fixes are under control by Friday, trials will be delayed yet again. But here's hoping for a swift fix. Alright, Nightfall is up next. And as usual, let's check out these modifiers for this week. First up, our buddy Epic. What's up, dude? Heavy shields, enemies, I got you. Berserk, minions of darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. Then we have Small Arms. Primary weapon damage is favored. Following that, Chaff is up next. Radar is disabled. And then we have Airborne. Players deal more damage while in the air. Doesn't seem too hard, but let's dive in and check it out.
The Taken King is dead. Yet still his armies writhe and claw at our worlds. Even as you led the assault on the Dreadnought, a powerful Taken war beast fled for the safety of the shrine to Oryx.
Malik, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. How's your mom doing? Anyway, so good thing I'm not sick of this strike yet, because one more thing we're going to start adding to this reset guide: Heroic Strike modifiers. Now, if you weren't aware, they started adding modifiers to the weekly Heroic Strike playlist, and while they are limited, they do rotate. So let's take a look, guys. First up, just like Epic, we have Heroic. It's no big deal. Enemies great. Numbers, yeah. Next, Arc Burn. Arc damage from any source is greatly increased. Next, we have Exposure. Guardian shields are stronger but do not replenish. And then finally, Catapult. grenade recharge is greatly increased. One more quick thing they added to the June update are player locations. Now these little icons have always been here, but now you can scroll over them and it will tell you exactly who is at this location instead of just a general friend. This works anywhere you see this friend icon, so the reef, tower, the raid, it's actually pretty handy. Alright y'all, hang in there, we are almost done, but first let's go check out the Dreadnought and see what's cooking over there. Now since last week was Oryx, and technically it was supposed to be Golgoroth, that means we went over 2 challenges last week. So that puts us back at the start of the challenge, and that means War Priest will be there to greet us. Alright, lastly, going down deep into the Dreadnought, checking out the Court of Oryx. This week, Tier 3 Court of Oryx boss is Balor, one of the more difficult ones to solo, but not really a challenge. All you have to do, y'all, is stand under the Pillar of Light. The first one spawns underneath the portal, and the only way to make more is by killing these yellow barred acolytes. Their death opens up another area to safely stand in, and once you're here, take a sniper or the sleeper and just put the witch down. Unfortunately, swords don't work here unless the shield is gone. Now, I have had some luck with the arc sword range attack, but it doesn't always work. Best thing is straight up old school snipes, and that, my friend, rounds us up. As always, Guardians, thank you all so much for watching, and we just broke 8,000 citizens of the nation. Crazy to think, guys, just a little over 2 months ago, I was at less than 1,000. This is because of you all and your support, and I'm proud to be a part of this journey with you guys. So thank you, but I am out, Guardians. Have a great Tuesday, and hang in there if you're halfway through the work week. If you want to keep up to date on everything Destiny, Rise of Iron, or if you're into the Division, follow me at SlyNation on Twitter. It is the best place to stay in touch. Alright, y'all, well, see you in the next one, but until then, this is your boy Sly. Done, gone, out.
Ammo inbound. Zone B secure.